And here is the Writer's Almanac for Wednesday. It's the 20th of April, 2022. It's the birthday of the writer Pietro Aretino, born in Arezzo, Italy, 1492. He was a satirist who liked to write about the private lives of famous people, including members of the church. And he was happy to blackmail the wealthy and the powerful with the threat of writing satires about them. He also wrote some of the earliest pornography, died at the age of 64, and according to legend, he died of suffocation from laughing too much. It's the birthday of the fantasy writer Peter S. Beagle, New York City, 1939, best known for his book, The Last Unicorn. Story of a unicorn who realizes she's the last unicorn who is not imprisoned and sets out on a quest to free the others. It sold more than 5 million copies after it came out in 1968. It's the birthday of the novelist Sebastian Faulks, born in Dunnington, England, 1953. He went on to Cambridge and then spent a year studying in Paris. He said, France was a terribly old-fashioned, unmodernized country at the time. You could branch off any main road in any of the provinces, and in 5 minutes you would be back in the 1930s. France offered me that imaginative access to the past. So, when Sebastian Faulks started writing novels, he wrote a trilogy set in France, mostly in the era between World War I and World War II. The Girl at the Lion d'Or, Birdsong, and Charlotte Gray. And it's the birthday of the science fiction writer Ian Watson, born Tyneside, England, 1943, who said, "I see science fiction now as a survival strategy generally, a metaphorical tool for thinking about the future flexibly and boldly." His books include Death Hunter and The Great Escape. 1926, on this day, the phrase "grace under pressure" was used in a letter from Ernest Hemingway to F. Scott Fitzgerald. Hemingway was a very prolific correspondent, probably wrote 7,000 letters in his lifetime. Ignored apostrophes, did not bother to cross his T's or dot his I's, and he misspelled certain words: apologize, responsibility, volume. When he wrote the letter to Fitzgerald in 1926, he just finished his novel The Sun Also Rises, and he was explaining to Fitzgerald what he meant when he used the word guts. He said, "I was not referring to guts, but to something else, grace under pressure." And it was on this day in 1939 Billie Holiday recorded the song Strange Fruit, describing the lynching of a black man in the South. The lyric by a schoolteacher from the Bronx named Abel Mirapole. Southern trees bear a strange fruit, blood on the leaves and blood at the root, black body swinging in the southern breeze, strange fruit hanging from the poplar trees. Here's a poem for today by William Blake, The Garden of Love. I went to the Garden of Love and saw what I never had seen. A chapel was built in the midst where I used to play on the green, and the gates of this chapel were shut, and "Thou shalt not" writ over the door. So I turned to the garden of love that so many sweet flowers bore, and I saw it was filled with graves and tombstones where flowers should be, and priests in black gowns were walking their rounds and binding with briars my joys and desires. The Garden of Love by William Blake. That's the Writer's Almanac for Wednesday, April the 20th. Be well, do good work, and keep in touch.